What's up, everyone? When I was newly becoming a more seriouser as a writer, I really loved watching videos and reading listicles all about what I was doing wrong. I was using filter words too much. I wasn't writing my query correctly. I was info dumping. I was messing up stakes. Oh my God, I get it. I was a terrible writer. I grew a lot from these types of videos and lists, but they're mostly missing something that I think is super important for emerging authors: mental health. Everyone is so shocked I'm here to hoot and holler about mental health. Very surprising, Sofiya. Groundbreaking. I'm still a pretty new author myself. I debuted in 2019, and 2020 has been 2020. Things are hard. I've learned a lot. I mentor other writers too, informally mostly, but also formally pretty soon in the form of pitch wars. And there are some things I've noticed. Patterns, if you will. And boy howdy, do therapists like behavioral patterns. We love them. So here's some patterns I've picked up in emerging authors when it comes to mental health, and some solutions for how to tackle these and live your best writer life. Number 1, don't know who their ideal audience is. What's the deal with this one? Well, knowing who your audience is obviously important for figuring out age category and marketing, but even beyond that, I have some hard news for you. You are never, ever going to appeal to everyone, ever. And trying for that impossibility is going to drive you bonkers. So with any new project, it is imperative that you sit down and really nail down who your audience is. Is it girls between the ages of 8 and 12 who love unicorns? Is it teenage boys with a penchant for motocross? Is it stay-at-home dads? Is it busy single adults? Once you have that figured out, it makes a ton of things easier. Not only does it make marketing easier, it also makes criticism easier. If you wrote your book for tweens who love unicorns and a middle-aged stockbroker with a chip on his shoulder gives you a bad review, you can blow that review off. This book isn't for him. Move on. 2, let jealousy in. This one is hard. Yikes! The green-eyed monster, envy. Someone else is successful and your caveman brain goes, hey! Their success just took a big chunk out of the success pool. Now there is less success for us. Hit them with a club. But friends, I have news. Success is not like crude oil with a limited amount that requires fights for resources. Success is like wind. It's everywhere. There's so freaking much of it, just blowing around. And if you set up your own windmill to catch some of that success, your success is not going to be decreased if your neighbor decides to set up their own windmill. There's plenty of wind to go around. Both of your sails on your windmills will turn. That success will keep spinning the sails on both windmills either way. 3, don't give themselves or others the benefit of the doubt. Let's face it, we are all really hard on ourselves. In most cases, we are so much harder on ourselves than we are on other people. It's human nature. But you know what else is human nature? Making mistakes. Everyone does it. So if you made an honest mistake, accept that that's all it was and move on. If someone else makes an honest mistake, same. Most people aren't out here trying to be terrible, honest. So if someone errs against you, don't immediately jump to, oh my God, they hate me, everything is terrible, the world is mired in badness. Just ask yourself, what could have been going on in their brain that would make them say or do that? Did they know it would be upsetting? Or ask them privately if they're aware of the harm. Likewise, do this with yourself. Just because you made a mistake does not mean you are a bad person. 4, buy into writer stereotypes. There are a lot of stereotypes about creative people, including writers. Writers are introverts, writers are quirky, writers are flakes, writers are all depressed and anxious. All the good writers have degrees in writing. And maybe, most dangerously, writers suffer for their art. Stop. I want you to strike all of these stereotypes from your mind. Just blam! Delete them. You are not a stereotype. You are a complex human organism with feelings and a unique personality, and you are not defined by a cute, depressed writer aesthetic or doomed to develop a substance use disorder. Absolutely not. And anybody who tells you any of these stereotypes are true is trash, and they need to get out of your life. 5, they listen to the mean voice. Have you ever done a thing that you are so proud of, but your proud moment is ripped away from you by a total jerk voice in the back of your head hissing, this is trash? Well, friends, meet your own personal antagonist. The force in your life that's preventing you from achieving your goals. Your goal in this case is being happy with your own work. So that mean voice, that antagonist, stands between you and your goal. How do we get past this mean voice? Well, externalize it. Give it a name. I know you have a mean voice. Everyone has one. So right now, this instant, give it a name. Any name will do. Mine is named Steve. And when it pops up in my head and says, hey, I know you thought you wrote something good, but it's actually a dumpster full of unfired diapers, I will just say to myself, shut up, Steve, and continue on with my day. Do not listen to Steve. I'm so sorry if your name is Steve. This has nothing to do with you, I swear. Number 6, put too much importance on what other people say or think, including reviews. I kind of touched on this in the Know Your Audience point back there, but it also applies to your friends, beta readers, CPs, and even agents. Your story is yours. And if someone else makes a suggestion for it that is way out of left field and that doesn't feel right to you, you don't have to listen to it. You, are a great writer, an amazing creative force, and you can trust yourself to know what's best for your story. This especially applies to reviews because those people don't know what you were trying to do with your story. And if they didn't enjoy it, just like I said up there, that's okay. It wasn't the story for them. Move on. 7, they don't put enough importance on community. And finally, this is kind of related to the stereotypes above. Writing is a lone pursuit, and writers are weirdo introverts, right? We don't need friends, they'll just cramp our style, right? Wrong. Having writer friends is not just essential, it's enjoyable too. The feeling of camaraderie and hanging out with someone who gets it is amazing. Make yourself some writer friends. But how? It's not that easy. Making friends as an adult is hard. I know you all know this. So how do you do it? There are a few different ways. So social media is pretty great, especially right now because it's COVID times and you can't really go out places. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat. Just go to whatever your favorite social media platform is and do searches for writing community, writers, etc. and just start interacting. You interact with other people and they see that and they go, oh, cool person. And then they start interacting back and now you have a new friend. In real life, there are writing organizations in practically every state in the United States and probably overseas too. I'm not sure. I am American, so I don't really know about other states or other countries. So, like, for example, in my state, Utah, we have the League of Utah Writers. And it has a bunch of different chapters all over the state in different areas. So if you live in Salt Lake City, you can find a bunch of writing groups that are local to Salt Lake City, so you don't have to drive forever, and who are interested in writing things that you want to write and or read. You can find any kind of group you want and have people who really know your genre and know your age category read your things. In one of the groups that I have attended a couple of times, there's always a lot of learning that's done, and there's different writers from professional and pretty famous down to just starting out. And everybody can kind of give and take from everybody else. And it's just a really great time. So I definitely recommend going to find a local writing group, even if right now you only see them in Zoom, because someday, I promise, someday we're going to be able to go back and see people in real life. So get in now, make some friends, enjoy yourself. Going to conferences, writer conferences, is also a really good way to meet people who are cool writery people. Just go, talk to people, socialize, go to the coffee clutches and after parties and that kind of thing. Meet people, chat, make friends. Okay, that's all for this video. I hope you learned something new today. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, wash your hands, remember that Black Lives Matter, and have a great day.